Welcome to this explainer on Module 6, Consumer Analysis. We're going to dive right into the key concepts you'll absolutely need to know to help you master your exams.
So, if you're gearing up for your microeconomics exam, you're in exactly the right place. Our goal is to focus on how these ideas are tested, especially in a multiple-choice format.
This guide is designed to break everything down so you can walk into that exam feeling confident and ready.
All right, first up, we're going to tackle the concept of consumer utility. This is really the foundation. It explains why we, as consumers, make the choices we do.
So what is utility? Well, the easiest way to think about it is as a satisfaction score. It's basically the amount of satisfaction or benefit you expect to get from a good or a service.
Now here's where it gets interesting. That satisfaction level, it doesn't stay the same. You know, if you're really hungry, that first slice of pizza is just amazing, right? It gives you a ton of satisfaction, or what we call high utility.
And this brings us to a really important term, marginal utility. Whenever you see the word marginal in economics, I want you to just think additional or extra. So marginal utility is simply the extra satisfaction you get from consuming one more unit of something, like that next slice of pizza.
And this idea leads us straight to a fundamental rule, a rule that is almost guaranteed to be on your exam. It's called the law of diminishing marginal utility.
Let's look at this table to see how it works. We've got someone eating apples. Notice how with the first apple, their marginal utility is 8, but with the second, it drops to 6. By the fifth apple, it's 0. The additional satisfaction they get from each new apple is going down.
And this graph shows that concept visually. See how the marginal utility curve slopes downwards? And that point where it hits the 0 line after the fifth apple, that has a special name, the point of satiety. That's the point of maximum satisfaction. If they eat another apple after that, you can see the utility actually becomes negative. They've had too much.
Okay, MCQ alert right here. It's really common to get questions that try to confuse Gauss's first and second laws. It's simple though. The first law, that's what we just covered, it's all about consuming more of a single good. The second law is about how you spend your money across different goods to get the most satisfaction possible. Now, for your exam, you absolutely have to know the assumptions behind this law. Questions often test these conditions. For the law to hold true, we have to assume a few things: that all the units are identical, so every apple is the same, that consumption is continuous, and that the consumer's tastes and income don't change.
All right, let's test that knowledge with an exam-style question. A person is very thirsty and gets some water. According to the law of diminishing marginal utility, why would the second glass provide less satisfaction than the first one? Take a second to think about it.
Okay, so the correct answer here is B. The whole reason the law works is that the intensity of your want, in this case your thirst, goes down after that first glass. You're just not as thirsty anymore. Now let's see why the others are wrong. A, C, and D are all incorrect because they each violate one of the key assumptions of the law that we just talked about.
Okay, great. Let's move on to our next major topic for this module, elasticity. This is all about measuring how sensitive or responsive demand is to a change in something else. The big one is price elasticity of demand. It sounds complicated, but it's just asking a simple question. If the price of a product changes, by how much does the quantity people want to buy change? Is it a big reaction or a small one?
And of course, there's a formula for it. You've got to know this. It's the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. And a quick tip for your exam, we usually just focus on the absolute value of the number, so you can ignore the negative sign.
So, what do the numbers mean? This table is critical for MCQs. The number 1 is your magic number. It's the dividing line. If the value is greater than 1, demand is elastic, meaning people are very responsive to price changes. If it's less than 1, demand is inelastic. People aren't very responsive.
And you can see this visually too. An elastic demand curve tends to be flatter. This shows that a small change in price leads to a really big change in the quantity people want to buy. On the other hand, an inelastic demand curve is much steeper.
Now, price isn't the only thing that affects demand. We also measure elasticity for changes in consumer income and for price changes in other goods. This table lays out the key difference you need to know between those two.
Okay, another big MCQ alert here, folks. This is a classic exam topic. For substitute goods, like coffee and tea, their cross-price elasticity is positive. If the price of one goes up, people buy more of the other. But for complementary goods, things you use together like a bike and a helmet, the value is negative. If bikes get more expensive, demand for helmets goes down.
All right, let's put that to the test with a calculation question. If the price of coffee goes up by 10% and the quantity of tea demanded goes up by 20%, what's the cross-price elasticity and what kind of goods are they? Pause and work it out.
The correct answer is B. The calculation is simple. You take the percentage change in quantity of tea, which is a positive 20%, and divide it by the percentage change in the price of coffee, a positive 10%. That gives you positive 2.0. The fact that the number is positive immediately tells you they are substitutes.
So why do we even care about all this elasticity stuff? Well, for businesses, it's absolutely crucial. It helps them make pricing decisions because it's directly tied to their total revenue.
This diagram shows that relationship perfectly. In the elastic part of the demand curve, if a business lowers its price, its total revenue actually goes up. But in the inelastic part, it's the opposite. They have to raise the price to increase their total revenue.
And this brings us to the total revenue test. This is a guaranteed topic for your exam, so you really need to memorize these relationships. The key takeaway is that the right pricing strategy depends entirely on whether your demand is elastic or inelastic.
Okay, let's wrap this up with a quick, high-yield summary of the absolute must-know facts for your exam. So, for utility, here's what you need to lock in. 1. The law of diminishing marginal utility. 2. The society point is where marginal utility hits 0. 3. Remember the key assumptions. And 4. Know the difference between Goossens' first and second laws.
And for elasticity, it's all about the numbers and the signs. If price elasticity is greater than 1, it's elastic. Less than 1, inelastic. If cross-price elasticity is positive, they're substitutes. Negative, they're complements. And for income elasticity, positive means a normal good, negative means an inferior good. Memorize these and you'll be set for a lot of questions.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. Think about which of these areas you need to review the most. Focusing on your weak spots is the best way to prepare. Good luck with your studies!